I'm okay. I haven't crashed. I've found reasons to wake up every morning. I'm functioning. I think, I think a few of us are lucky to have it a lot better than a lot of the other people out there, and I'm definitely one of them. Home for me is still Changanasheri, which is where I stayed during school, which is not for all of it, but mostly through school. And, I don't go there all that often, or as often as I would like to right now. But somehow, when someone says home, the first place that comes to mind is Changanasheri. Second, oddly, is Chennai. Then would come Kochi and Bombay. Um, See, I don't know. That's a tricky question for me because I wasn't someone who really thought about the film industry a lot before I ended up here. I didn't think it was practical for me to get in, so I sort of coached myself not to dream about it. I always thought films would be inaccessible. I always thought I would somehow figure out a way to make a living out of just doing theater, as ridiculous as that sounds right now. But back then, I really was naive enough to think that that would be possible. So, films just sort of happened. And because of that, I came in and I just started discovering it one project at a time. I didn't really have a set idea of it, which I came in with. No, I don't think it would be fair to say that I'm more excited about theater than I am about films. I'm actually in films. I think I'm at a place where every good project I do, I'm getting more and more excited about it. I want to. I'm constantly finding new people that I want to work with. I'm constantly watching films and thinking, oh my god, someday if I'm lucky, I want to do something like that. So I don't think it'd be fair to say that I'm more excited by theater, but the same thing's happening with theater also. When I don't do it, I miss it. When I watch a great play, I feel like, oh shit, someday I want to do something like that. And when I don't do any theater for a while, I I feel this itch that I just have to run away somewhere and do a show, or be part of a workshop or do some theater somehow. Well, compared to films, that's a very, very unfair comparison. So, compared to films, theater doesn't really pay much at all. But there are a few people I know who make a living out of it. There are a few theater companies, especially in cities like Bombay and Bangalore, and maybe even Delhi, who run the ship, and they're all right. Like, it's not like they make a lot of money. I don't think anyone really becomes rich doing theater. Uh, but I know people who get by, and theater people are. I think they've all, a long time ago, some even before they come into it, have accepted the fact that this is not going to sustain me by itself. I'm going to have to do other things on the side. So we find things to supplement the income. I mean, there are theater workshops that you can conduct. There's like corporate theater shows that sometimes pay more than regular theater shows for the general audience. So there are ways. Moothon, I think sort of, I like to believe, and it's not something I like to believe, it's true. It came to me through Kude, the film that I did with Angelina. Kude was big for me. I had always wanted to work with her. She's actually one director that I wanted to work with, even at the time when I thought that I would never get into films. I watched Manjari Guru, and since then I really just wanted to work with her. So when Kude happened, I absolutely loved that experience. I loved being on that set. I loved everyone I worked with over there. There was this one person called Ajay Nadat, who was a sound designer for films. So Ajayan was working on Kure. Ajayan was the first person who referred me to Geetu when she was looking for someone to play that character in Moothon. She didn't even know that I existed. Then obviously Geetu spoke to Angelina. And Angelina also luckily had good things to say about me. Gitu called me in for a meeting, and she spent hardly 2 minutes with me before she sort of offered me a meal. So yeah, that's how Moothon happened. So I've honestly only done this one project out there. Of course, we all watch films from every industry, but I've only been involved in, say, the Bombay industry of Bollywood for this one film so far. So I don't know if I'm in a position where I can really do the comparison and do it well. But every time I've been there, and I go there a lot. I have a lot of friends there who work in the film industry and in theater. There's a lot of respect for Malayalam films and the work that we do here, and I know for a fact that a lot of that comes in because of what you've just mentioned. That people here, at least when they look at it from a distance, maybe even more so when they look at it from a distance, seem to be making content-driven films rather than anything else at this point. I feel like a lot of people are focusing on that here, and that's one of the reasons why everyone out there is excited. No, yeah, I mean, like, I feel like you can always make a choice. If you don't want to do something, you can say no, even if it's your first film. It's just maybe there's a lot more at stake than later on. I don't think I'm in a position where I'm comfortable to be as selective as I would like to be, but I still try to be as selective as I can. Speaking of genres, I don't know if I have favorites. I sort of watch almost all kinds of films, and I enjoy all kinds of films, which immediately makes me feel like I would like to act in all kinds of films. The only genre that I don't enjoy a lot when I watch it is horror, because I'm not somebody who really gets scared by scary movies. So it sort of defeats the purpose. But I still want to do a horror film someday just to know what it's like to, because that's a scary thought by itself. If I'm not somebody who gets scared watching a scary movie, will I be able to do it convincingly if I'm ever called to work in one? So just to find that out, I'd like to do that also. Um, thought വരാറുണ്ടോന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാൽ actually when I pick a character, not so much. കാരണം there are all kinds of people in the world. Uh, Wherever your your scale or your viewpoint is and what your political correctness is, according to that there will always be people and characters who you think are right and are wrong. And I don't think it's smart to be picky about a character the way you would be picky about the people you want in your life around you. But the movie as a whole, I feel like subconsciously even I do think about it, that um, not that every movie should have a great message or every movie should only deal with all the right things. അങ്ങനെയല്ല. If there are wrong things being shown, then I guess it's about evaluating whether the movie really needs it, or is there a reason for it to be there? Is there a reason for a certain character? Is it necessary for the plot? അങ്ങനത്തെ basic ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ, I think that sort of a thinking process does exist. Yeah, I think it's a terrible time. I mean, any time is a terrible time to be politically incorrect, but especially now, the age I'm at, with what's happening in the world around us, and especially when you're put in a position of responsibility where you have a certain amount of reach, I'd say, over a few people, even if that is. But yeah, I think being politically correct is a responsibility. I don't know if it's possible every step of the way or every day of your life, but yeah, I make that effort wherever I feel like I can. I So I don't have long-term plans, as in fixed destinations that I want to get to after say 15 years or 20 years. I think at any point, if I think about okay, 2060, where do you want to be? My immediate answer is I want to be doing what I'm doing now, and performing on a stage where there's somebody to watch, or putting up a play, or acting in a film, or directing something. I just want to be making good work, doing what I like doing. That's all. I don't have very specific plans. Moothon is the most satisfying film experience that I've had till now. It's also, I think, the Amir is also personally my favorite character that I've been lucky enough to play, and I think it's also one among the best written characters that I was offered. On top of that, Moothon, the team of Moothon had so many people that I had dreamt of working with, that it was already a great experience for me before we even began. Like the moment I was offered the film, which is why I've told a few people that even if I was called to play a much smaller part of, like just like a tree in that film, I'd still do it because it's a bunch of great people. Almost everyone who worked, who was part of the team of Moothon, was somebody that I had on my list of people to work with. Yeah, so I think that uh, good movie or bad movie is very subjective. It's for each member of the audience to decide if it's a movie uh, that makes them feel good, or it's a movie that they like or not. Having said that, I think these film festivals that we all hear about and talk about, which have been around for so long, and some really great filmmakers and critiques of films are up there. They're picking films. I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't pick what they think is a bad film. So more than just, I don't know if getting into a festival makes a film a good film beyond any argument. I feel like it's like an award, right? It's like it's validation from a few people that this movie is a movie that we liked and we think people should watch it. Now, whether you respect those people is what would tell you, or what that would decide how much this means to you, I guess. If it's a film festival that you respect, then if your film gets in there, it would mean something. If it's a festival you don't respect, then it doesn't necessarily. It was a lot of fun. I think it was the most liberating acting experience I've had, and I've said this uh, to a lot of people. Actually, it's yeah, he's great to work with. He's a mad genius. He hardly sets any boundaries. You really feel limitless when you work with him, and that amount of freedom. I don't know if I had experienced that in films, which I feel like maybe there is a lot more of it out there. Maybe it's just the kind of films that I had done, or whatever. But I hadn't been on too many film sets where I was given that much of a leeway to really go out and explore, do what you feel like doing. Yeah, it was an entirely different process from when I had a lot of fun working. Uh, yeah, I don't know how this answer is going to affect my uh, financial position, but yeah, I think, I mean, yeah, I like at the end of the day, sometimes you do make sacrifices to do what you really want to do, and a sacrifice that's in the on the payment side is luckily easier to make than a sacrifice on the quality side of things, I think. Acting skills, I would like to believe. Otherwise, I have to quit this job. Uh, no. but maybe you should wait and watch it to find out. Of a fan? No, no.